Recent events regarding China and Taiwan got me thinking, like the whole Pelosi visit, the ballistic missiles being fired above Taiwan, and even into Japan's special economic zone or whatever. At first, I was sure that China would never actually attack Taiwan, not now especially, since they're like the internal economy of their country is in shambles. You must have heard of all the tanks protecting banks and people buying homes using watermelons and shit. And I was reassured by the fact that a wiki page exists called The Last Warning of China, which talks about how China once gave 900 warnings to America regarding the Taiwan Strait in the 60s. I will leave a link to a tweet of mine which has the link to the wiki, so please like the tweet while you're there. Anyway, but then I thought about it more, and it seemed like this would actually be the perfect time to attack for various reasons. So reason number one, Pelosi's visit to Taiwan, because they're calling it a provocation already, and you know, they can always go like, oh, we are just simply responding to a provocation. I mean, they pretty much are doing that at this point anyway. Reason number two would be USA's weak stance on Taiwan. They're not like solidifying anything. There's no like formal agreement to protect Taiwan, unlike, you know, the one that they have with Japan and shit. And like they are very finicky about various things. Like they're taking a hard stance because Pelosi is there, but like they're not taking a hard stand because Taiwan is in danger. So yeah, they're like wishy-washy on the whole subject of Taiwan. So that is an issue. And reason number three would be that USA is not actually changing any policy. It still follows the one China policy. So on like one hand, you're screaming like, oh, we will protect Taiwan and shit, and on the other hand, it's like, oh, we are not going to change our one China policy. China is still one whole thing for us at least. So that's kind of a, as I said, finicky thing for them to do. Reason number four, currently there is a weak leadership in USA. I mean, you know, as unfortunate as this is, but America's leaders do dictate like what is going to be like the global you know, situation for the most part, as unfortunate as that is. But currently Biden is in power, and you already know like how many blunders he have fucking done, and he's like a really weak president for America. And I mean, honestly, even he was even against Pelosi going and visiting Taiwan, and the only reason, because he has to protect her, and that's why he sent his navy there to protect her, but he was against her visiting at all. So that's a very important factor for that. And reason number five would be like an attack on Taiwan would make the nationalist element in China flare up, and people will focus less on economy, more on like pride, history, and nationalism. I mean, this is a classic thing that everyone pretty much does. Like your country, you can't do shit, there's a load of corruption, you're fucked, and like the public is really angry at you, then you just fucking start this fucking war with some random country somewhere and go like, look, the big bad enemies over there, so ignore every single one of our own faults that there are. So this like shifting like the focus of the public, that sort of thing would be great for China right now. So that would be a big reason. Reason number six would be the Russia-Ukraine war, which has got like America's resources pretty damn stretched as it is. Although sanctions are causing an inflation globally, and America is in or about to be in a recession. Now, I mean, sure, recession might have other reasons too, but definitely the Russia-Ukraine war is a big factor. Now, if they put sanctions on China as well, considering like pretty much everything, you know, the normal person in everyday day-to-day life, especially in America, is using is like Chinese made in some manner, that would be a bit too much, you would say, you would think. Like, that would be kind of a suicide, honestly, at that point. And not to mention that a whole lot of nations will not comply with that, honestly. I mean, with the Russia-Ukraine thing, you know, at least nations complied, and you already saw the effects of that, like the economy is collapsing left and right. And now a lot of other nations do not want to collapse, so they will pretty much just break sanctions at that point. They will like, you know what, look at this. You're going to be fucking, our economies are going to be destroyed, so we have no option but to keep buying from China, even with the sanctions. And, you know, obviously inflation in America will go crazy, and obviously Democrats would definitely not want that. I mean, you can clearly see the examples as Sri Lanka collapsed, Pakistan is collapsing on the verge of it, Bangladesh is like saying like, oh, we are troubled, and like they were asking for a loan from IMF or something. So highly doubt that the sanction bit is going to happen. So this is going to be a great opportunity for China to attack whilst the war is going on. The only thing I can think about is that they will wait till winter, so that when once winter comes, Europe is not going to have gas, and they're going to have to like either like lower the sanctions on Russia or like freeze to death. So at that point, that China would have an even greater advantage of going like, oh, you sure you want to put more sanctions on us when you already are fucking over Europe with the whole gas thing. So definitely this would be a prime time, or in a few months would be the prime time for China to attack. And reason number 7, and the most important reason of them all probably, is in 2023 there are elections for the president of China in the Chinese Communist Party, and this might be a make or break year for Ping Ping. Sorry, I meant Xi Jinping. I call him Ping Ping privately, like as a pet name. Never mind. And so he's ultra aggressive, and his people's economic condition is not good. He's not willing to use his massive foreign reserves to make his people's condition better, because that will raise his currency's value. That will make Chinese products a little expensive. That means less exports, and India is always waiting for an opportunity to satch that market, considering we are trying to be a global manufacturing hub at this point with Make in India and all that. So he's not looking to hot right. Okay, shit, sorry. I on my script here I wrote, so he's not looking too hot right now, but I put flame emojis next to hot. So I'm just laughing at that. What the fuck? Why did I put flame emojis there? But whatever. So he's not looking too hot right now. Not to mention Pelosi went despite China's aggressive warnings. So CCP will look weak to its public if they let this slide. So after looking at all these factors, I don't think China is going to wait till like 2027, as they originally was like predicted that they might go for Taiwan in 2027. But yeah, they might be doing it by the end of this year, by the end of 2022. And I don't think Taiwan Strait gets like super cold neither. So, even during winters, so they will probably be good on that front. So yeah, they're probably going to be invading either like right now or in the end of this year during winter. So my worries are these. First of all, electronics. So there already was a silica shortage for a little bit. So electronics are pretty much getting expensive. Then the crypto bros bought all the graphics cards so they could mine cryptocurrency, which caused the price to go up. And that Taiwan is is the leading right now. Taiwan is the leading manufacturer for semiconductors, and if they go down, that pretty much means that I will definitely not be able to buy a decent graphics card for like the next 5 years at least. So it will be like a 7-year fucking sprawl, 7-8 years. Jokes aside, but there will be like mega inflation in anything that uses electronics pretty much. Second worry of mine would be like China will see this as a win and go from like hyper to like ultra aggressive. India already have border disputes with them. Anywhere our border touches pretty much, they're like, okay, this is our land, you're on our territory. And that's the same thing they do with pretty much everyone. Like fucking they probably have disputes with Mongolia. They definitely have one with Russia, fucking Japan and Korea and whatnot. They're pretty much just fighting everyone, Vietnam and whatnot. Whosoever they can fucking find to start a fucking border dispute with. They probably have one with Myanmar too. I don't know. I definitely don't know about that one, but they probably do. I wouldn't be too surprised if they do. And the third problem would be like the Xi Jinping's position will be like cemented, like confirmed. Like the people even are calling this like, if he gets elected one more time, he's going to be emperor of China for life. He's never going to get dethroned after that. But I don't know about all that, but I definitely am sure like he will be good for the next election at least, if he manages to get like Taiwan, and he will also be like remembered as like the great hero of China or whatever. That he brought back the rebels under control and whatnot. because they kind of see Taiwan as like the fake China and whatnot. I mean, they don't even see Taiwan as China. Taiwan sees itself as China. Long history, but whatever, who cares? But the point is that there is going to be no policy change, and I'm looking forward like something to happen, not in like the fighting sense, but I hope like India will break its silence on the issue. Like, China is our like adversary, so we need to talk about their issues as well. Like, whenever they start acting aggressive, and we have decent relationships with Taiwan, so I think we should definitely speak about it. At least say something. Like, as far as I know right now, no one in the government has said anything about this. And I also hope that Quad group gets off his ass and actually does something. I mean, the whole point of Quad was to counter China without saying we are countering China. And now, like, we got this. Like, I don't know what the Quad is for if they're not going to do anything about this topic neither. But whatever. And I really hope at the end of the day, Taiwan remains Taiwan. That's the best for like the market. That's the best for like the neighboring countries of China, and that's the best like globally. The best scenario for the world would be that Taiwan remains Taiwan and not become Taipei, because that would be good for only one group, and that would be the CCP.